Hey, what's going on? I'm Blockabilly, and this is primarily a Lego channel, but I've been having a lot of fun with this Traxxas rock climber. In my last video, I put new wheels and tires on this truck, and I think they are looking awesome. Now I have the old tires and wheels, and I've got what I think is a pretty cool idea for what to do with these. It just so happens that it's winter right now where I live, and that I live right next to a lake. It's especially cold right now, and the lake's starting to freeze over. So, of course, I want to drive my truck on the ice. This is a slow four-wheel drive truck, so it drives on the ice just fine. But wouldn't it be cool if I had a little extra help and a little more traction? So, I want to make studded or maybe even spiked tires for the truck to drive on the ice. I don't know if anybody else has tried this. I assume somebody has, but I've intentionally not looked up any videos on this because I don't want to be influenced. I want to just kind of try it my own way and see what I can come up with. So let's see what I can come up with. So I've got, a little drawer full of all kinds of screws and bolts. And I almost thought I could take some of these tiny, tiny bolts, something like this, and punch it through the tire, and it would be almost like a stud. But I have a feeling that these are really still going to be too big. Like, that's a pretty aggressive stud or spike. So I don't know, might work, but I don't know. I'm going to maybe think of something different. So my next idea was to use this brass rod stock that I had and kind of drill some little holes, poke it through, and I don't know, maybe have it come just proud of the tread, and then all I would have to do is kind of make sure the holes are just a little bit smaller than the rod, and then maybe kind of put some super glue on the inside to hold it. I don't think it needs to be anything too aggressive. So I don't know, I think I might try that. I could even kind of sharpen them a little bit, but it really doesn't need it. They just need to be kind of like little spiked studs on there. The brass rod is working out even better than I imagined. It really just pokes through. I don't even have to drill holes. It just pokes right through this thin rubber. And then once it's poked through, I trim it to length. And then I used a little bit of super glue. So each stud just gets a little dab of super glue, and I use gel super glue. Super glue bonds to rubber pretty well, so it's just going to kind of cement those in place. And it might take a little while to dry because I was using little globs, but I think that's going to work out really well. And just when I clip the rod, it puts a little spike on there, so it's actually working pretty well. So let me show you how I'm doing it. All I have to do is take my rod with a sharp end there, and I go in until I see where it's kind of poking in between the knobs of the tread, and just a little wiggle, and it pokes right through. And then you just kind of adjust the depth. Then you grab your wife's jewelry clippers. All right, there we go. And the pattern I was doing was just like every other gap, poke through, clip it, and so on. There we go. I got all the studs in this one. After I poked them all through, I kind of go back and adjust the depth a little bit. I'm pretty sure if they're sticking up too far, they're just going to kind of flop over and not really, yeah, like that one's like definitely too high. So it'll probably not be very effective like that. So they have to be kind of just right. Even still, I'm probably leaving them a little too high. Like I said, I'm using this gel super glue. It's a little hard to do this while I'm making sure it's on camera and gluing it at the same time, but Nothing crazy, just putting a little glob of glue on each stud. The first one I did is still drying, but I think it's dry enough that I could go back and kind of trim some of these if I wanted. I don't know. It's going to make a mess here, but, you know, so I could trim them like that if I wanted. I'm going to let these dry real good, and then I'm going to put the wheels back together. And because these are my original tires and wheels, I still have the lead weights. And if you didn't see that video where I put these on, check that out. It's kind of cool. Kind of a cool, cheap, homemade way to make your wheels heavier. It might be a little harder to get these on now with the spikes, but they're really stretchy tires, so shouldn't be a problem.